Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94 here, back with another reaction video. Today, we finna react to how Comedy Central became irrelevant. Simple, really. They don't do comedy specials no more, and the comedy specials that they do get, it be like some mid-tier ass comedian who really not funny. Like, they don't be getting the funny comedians no more. But then again, the funny comedians, they don't be putting out work no more. They don't be putting out their work no more. Oh, tired. Tired. Working hard for the money, But yeah, and plus, nobody want to sit up here and watch fucking South Park all fucking day. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody want to watch South Park all day. Let's see here. They do reruns of the Chappelle Show, but they do it in a petty way. They'll only put like 15-minute. They only put like 15-minute episodes up, and then expect us to enjoy that. Like, no. How you gonna give us 15 minutes of the Chappelle Show? Like, they don't really have anything over there. It's like there's nothing worth watching. Like, South Park, in my personal opinion, has run its course. I think South Park is in that same boat with the Simpsons. It's like, when y'all gonna end? Like, just end, bruh. It's like it's good to end, bruh. Like, we good, bruh. These niggas been in the 4th grade for like 20 years, bruh. Like 30 years now. Do y'all realize that South Park is gonna be like 30 years old and the kids are still in the fucking 4th grade? Like, we ain't made no progress with their characters in age. These niggas going through all these changes and shit, but they still in the 4th grade. Come on, bro. Then there's a lack of shows. Like I said, when you had the Chappelle Show, there was a certain type of it felt like there was a certain type of buzz around Comedy Central. Like for me, I would always go to Comedy Central if there was nothing on, because I know they would have either the Chappelle Show be on, or they have a good ass a stand-up comedian on, or they have a funny ass movie on. Now it's just turned into the South Park channel, and it's like, nobody want to sit up here and watch South Park all day, bro. That's just me, though. I don't know about everybody else. I know South Park got their fan base or whatever, but I'm like, bro, that show has run its course, bro. In my personal opinion, that show has run its course. There's been no development within almost 30 years, bro. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying.
Just put the fries in the bag, bro. You washed.
Anyways, though, without further ado, let's get right into it.
Comedy Central used to be one of the biggest risk takers on network television, bringing us South Park, Chappelle Show, Tosh.0, and countless other quality programs. Nowadays, it's constant reruns of what used to make the channel great, resulting in the loss of over 30 million households since 2011. So, to understand how Comedy Central has fallen this far, we have to start by heading back to the early 90s.
You're at Comedy Central.
Comedy Central launched in 1991, born of an unlikely partnership between HBO and Viacom. See, in 1990, these two networks were battling it out, HBO with the Comedy Channel and Viacom with Ha. But with such a small audience in what was already considered to be a niche space, the two decided to end their rivalry, merging to create Comedy Central. Now, you'd think with two multi-million-dollar companies behind it, they wouldn't have problems gaining momentum. However, Comedy Central massively struggled. Turns out, people weren't sold on the idea of a channel solely airing comedy 24 hours a day. And honestly, their first impression didn't help this. To fill the entire catalog, they had to air endless reruns of stand-up specials and sitcoms. The only standout originals were Mystery Science Theater 3000 and Short Attention Span Theater, both of which were fun, but still just clever ways to recycle stand-up and movie clips by having comedians react to them.
Hey, you come here often?
Hey, kick those skis off. Give me a foot. There you go. Yeah, plenty of room up on top. Here you go. You are friendly, aren't you?
Comedy Central was slowly building an audience, though, and in 1993, everything would change. Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher was their first big hit, a late-night talk show tackling current issues with a wide variety of guests.
Well, Americans have a curious set of standards when it comes to safety. Skydiving, rock climbing, and bungee jumping are all permitted with few restrictions, and yet there are strict laws about wearing a seatbelt in a car and a helmet on a motorcycle. Now, isn't there something perverse about asking regular Americans to wear a seatbelt on the way over to a sports bar to watch Robbie Knievel jump the fountain at Caesar's Palace?
The show pulled in a huge audience, and for the first time ever, Comedy Central had an identity: edgy, thought-provoking comedy. The network kept experimenting with new shows, like Viva Variety and Dr. Katz Professional Therapist. These did go on to be cult classics, but far from mainstream hits. However, in 1996, they struck gold yet again, though no one realized it at the time. The Daily Show premiered, a satirical news program which quickly found a loyal audience. While the show became a staple, it wouldn't explode until Jon Stewart took over in 1999. But before that, something even bigger was coming. Something that would truly cement Comedy Central's place in TV history forever.
I'm going down to South Park, gonna have myself a time.
In 1997, the first ever episode of South Park would air, a crude, low-budget cartoon about 4 foul-mouthed kids from Colorado. Now, no one thought this would work, but it somehow took the world by storm, and this was just the beginning. In 1999, The Daily Show evolved. Jon Stewart took over as host, shifting it from goofy headlines to sharp political satire. It became a trusted news source for a generation, while also being genuinely funny.
I was not elected to serve one party.
You were not elected.
I hit a nerve.
Not everything was highbrow, though. That same year, they aired The Man Show, hosted by Jimmy Kimmel and Adam Carolla. Looking back today, it had some pretty controversial moments, but back then, people were absolutely obsessed with
If you
it.
ask 100 women to sleep with you, one is bound to say yes. Now,
You's a
although I'm
freaky ass
married man,
nigga.
my
You's a
first
freaky
love has
ass
always
nigga.
been
You's a
science,
freaky
and
ass
My
nigga.
second love is cheating. Right, ladies?
You's a freaky ass nigga.
Join me as I combine those two loves and ask 100 different women.
I ain't gonna lie though, Shorty right here can get it though. I ain't gonna hold you though. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. Shorty. All that chocolate over there, boy. All that chocolate over there, boy. I tear that ass up, boy. God damn, Shawty. God damn.
Black queens forever, snow bunnies never. I said black queens forever, snow bunnies never. I said black queens forever, snow bunnies never.
Girl, I know you want that.
I say it though, Shawty. I just want to know, Shawty, how you do it and how you do it, where you do it, and who you do it to. Well, God, I need to know, Shawty. Let me know, Shawty. Let me know. God damn, girl. God damn, girl.
Can I put my balls in your jaws? Your jaws. Balls in your jaws.
Oh, well, that was my wife, I think. Will you have sex with me?
As for the stand-up side of things, Comedy Central didn't forget their roots and poured the same love into their specials. Legendary performances from Patton Oswalt, Jim Gaffigan, Dane Cook, Zach Galifianakis, and way too many more comedians to count. One of the best, rising star Dave Chappelle. In fact, his partnered special with HBO was so beloved, he was offered his own show in 2003. Now, The Chappelle Show wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural phenomenon. By blending sketch comedy and social commentary, the show gave us so many moments that became part of pop culture history.
It's a celebration. Show time for your titties. I'm Rick James. The milk's gone bad, my friend.
You'd think this was peak, but Comedy Central was on an untouchable run. That same year, Reno 911 debuted and roast became a staple, pulling in huge names like Pam Anderson, Flava Flav, even William Shatner.
Bill, you're not just brilliant and old and fat. You're an
The roast got really old real quick because it was like they just kept bringing the same people on, and they just tell the most fucked up jokes, like, and it wasn't funny. It's like, I'm not laughing at this shit. So like, I understand, I do remember the roast, but the roast just got not funny because they kept bringing the same people on. It's like they'll bring a couple celebrities on, but then it'd be like this, then like the comedians that they would choose, it'd be the same people, and they just be telling these fucked up ass jokes about the person, and it's like, dog, not really laughing at that, bro. I don't really think that's funny. And it's not like on some sensitive shit. It's really on some, bro, that's not funny. Like you tried to get that joke off. For those of y'all that remember, I'm your conscience. I just told another bad joke. Maybe I should wrap it up. I'm your conscience. If you know, you know.
Inspiration. You prove that having no talent can be seen as hip and ironic.
But when we got to 2005, the network stumbled upon their biggest win yet. Stephen Colbert took his persona from The Daily Show and was given his own spin-off, The Colbert Report. This was a brilliant parody of conservative talk shows that immediately found a massive audience.
Whatever Republican is going to replace Obama will need three things: vision, leadership, and enough cash to make up for not having vision or leadership.
Things were going incredible, but behind the scenes, executives were making questionable moves. They acquired the rights to more sitcoms like Scrubs, Arrested Development, trying to give viewers a balance between comfort food and originals. Little did we know, this comfort programming would eventually lead to their downfall. But for now, Comedy Central wasn't just successful, they were on top of the world. South Park, The Daily Show, roasts, stand-ups, this was the golden age. And the wildest part, they hadn't even peaked yet. By the early 2010s, Comedy Central's flagship shows were pulling in millions of viewers every week. But they didn't lean on the giants. The network continued to double down on original programming. In 2009, Tosh.0 premiered, and at first a lot of people wrote it off as another internet clip show. However, Daniel Tosh's brutal commentary and quick wit turned the
Daniel Tosh.0 was good. I ain't gonna lie, Tosh.0 was good. Tosh.0 was pretty good. I ain't gonna even hold you, bro. That shit was kind of fun, bro. That shit was an interesting show to tune into every now and again.
Show into one of the network's biggest hits.
That guy is huge. Yet he'll still find a way to take up a whole lane. He also has the world's tiniest case of testicular cancer.
Then came Workaholics in 2011, followed by Key and Peele just a year later. And honestly, I don't think anyone could have predicted just how big the show would become. Iconic skits, characters, and out of all the programming on the channel, Key and Peele lives on the most today with social media. But during this same time, stand-up remained a cornerstone too. The era had so many iconic specials, from Kevin Hart to John Mulaney, even Amy Schumer's breakout.
And the way that these girls keep themselves skinny is awful, isn't it? By vomiting or using
Amy Schumer? Amy Schumer? This man said Amy Schumer.
Houseway. Houseway.
Hell no! Trash ass nigga.
using hard drugs, which I can't afford. So.
And Amy's special actually led to her getting her own show called Inside Amy Schumer. The ratings went through the roof. Same with Broad City, Drunk History, the list of hits went on. But then a sudden announcement in 2014 shook the network. Stephen Colbert revealed he was leaving to replace David Letterman on The Late Show. Fans were devastated, so Comedy Central scrambled to pivot by replacing his time slot with The Nightly Show with Larry Wilmore. But it never captured that same audience, with the show being canceled after just 2 seasons. Only a year later, and another gut punch for the network. As if losing Colbert wasn't enough, Jon Stewart announced he was stepping down from The Daily Show after 17 years.
Doug Herzog, Michelle Gainless of Comedy Central gave me an incredible opportunity 17 years ago to pilot this wonderful franchise. And 17 years is the longest I have ever in my life held a job by 16 years and 5 months.
Now, Trevor Noah came in as a solid replacement, but viewership dropped and many longtime fans never returned. But despite all the setbacks, Comedy Central still had a strong lineup. Workaholics, Inside Amy Schumer, Key and Peele. But as the decade went on, a quiet shift began that fans didn't see coming. Random cancellations of beloved shows, including Taj.0 and Drunk History, which already had new seasons announced. Fans were pissed. But Comedy Central had a new, bigger vision, and that was animation. Execs believed it would offer cheaper production, longer syndication life, and global appeal. However, without the originals and stand-up specials that built the channel's legacy, it started to lose its soul, quietly marking the beginning of the end. As we moved into the late 2010s, things started to quickly unravel. Comedy Central had been built on taking risks, but now their big new plan was reboots. Revivals of Beavis and Butthead, Ren and Stimpy, a Daria spinoff. It was clear they were trying to cash in on nostalgia, but in reality, it didn't work at all. None of these recaptured the magic, and worse, they were the reason so many loved shows got canceled. Meanwhile, stand-up has slowed down too, and a roast hasn't been aired since 2019. With everything else fading, The Daily Show was their last true hope, right?
And I realized that after the 7 years, my time is up. Yeah, but in the most beautiful way. Honestly, I've loved hosting this show. It's been one of my greatest challenges. It's been one of my greatest joys. I've loved trying to figure out how to make people laugh, even when the stories are particularly shitty on the worst days. You know, we've laughed together, we've cried together.
Trevor Noah, who had spent years rebuilding The Daily Show's audience, announced he was stepping away. The show had already taken a hit in viewership before, but this felt like the final nail in the coffin. In fact, they lost 75% of their total audience. In 2014, over 2 million viewers tuned in each night. By 2022, they struggled to pull 500,000. Damn. It did not stop there. Perhaps the hardest loss of all came with South Park. Comedy Central's crown jewel stopped airing new specials on the channel, and instead those went straight to streaming. If that wasn't bad enough, in their latest attempt to survive in the digital age, they've made their worst decision to date. The channel has become second screen friendly, meaning endless marathons of The Office, Seinfeld, Parks and Rec, content you could tune into at any moment without needing context. Essentially the same playbook MTV uses with ridiculousness. And just like that, a network that once took risks, launched legends, and changed comedy forever, reduced to nothing but reruns, a ghost of what it once was.
Yeah, I don't get why channels do that. Go into rerun mode. I don't know why a lot of channels are going into rerun mode, considering the fact that we can just go watch this shit on the internet and we can stop and pause it at any time and continue watching it on our own. Like, nah. That's a terrible marketing tool, especially when you got the internet. Especially when people have the internet at their disposal, bro, and they can just go on wherever they can watch a certain show. Yeah, reruns is definitely not the move. But like I said, man, I don't think South Park has aired the new season since the pandemic started. I think they just been putting out specials and that's it, right? Like like I said, I'm not watching the show. I'm not keeping up with the show. Like I said, I kind of feel like the show has run its course. Like I said, it's almost 30 years, bro. 30 years. Damn, we getting old. I'm older than South Park. That's sad. But anyways, though, yeah, man. I personally believe that it has to do with the stand-ups that they choose. They won't tap into any new or exciting, shows to watch per se. Something the equivalent of a Chappelle show. If they had something the equivalent of a Chappelle show, like maybe they could revive it and let Chappelle do his thing again. I don't know, but I would say that, yeah, Comedy Central is pretty much on on a downward spiral to no longer existing. That's just how I see it. But anyway, so that's just gonna about do it for this one. Comedy Central has definitely become a shell of itself. Reruns and all this other stuff. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Maybe if they get back into the thing that got them where they are today, the comedy, the comedy aspect, and maybe you get somewhere. I mean, you are called Comedy Central, or you could just change the name up and then just be a completely different channel. I mean, you would lose all your viewership, but you'd probably gain some newer viewers. I don't know. Old people still watch television. Who knows? Put MASH on. I'll guarantee you probably get a bump up in viewership. Put some MASH on. But anyway, so let's just go about do it for this one, man. I will see you all in the next video. Till then, bye.